This is the Coins, Cashflow, and Conversations podcast. I am your host, Dakota Grady. Welcome to the podcast, y'all. Let me get this thing on here. See y'all. This is the Coins, Cashflow. This is the Coins, Cashflow, and Conversations podcast. I am your host, Dakota Grady, sponsored by Upstate Essential Solutions. If you need help with accounting and taxes or personal finances, contact me today at dakotagrady.com. And if you need help with creating or actually doing your quarterly estimates, I got a resource for you. Email me at dakotagrady.com. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to learn how to do your quarterly estimate in 5 minutes, send me an email at dakotagrady.com for a free resource to help you estimate your tax payments in 5 minutes. Hey y'all, welcome to the podcast. This is your boy. It's a good day, y'all. Tax season is rounding up, and it is actually last day to have your taxes filed is on Monday, April 15th. And also, you gotta do your quarterly estimates, which I do Monday, April 15th. So I'm gonna put it out there, y'all. Get yourself done. So tonight, talking about three things: paying off debt, saving money, and building wealth. That's right, y'all. Three topics tonight. I want to dive right into them, get started, to bring y'all some value. Let's dive right in. According to, talking about paying off debt, y'all. According to the Federal Reserve, this is as of the fourth quarter of 2023. All right, so last year, y'all, it says total debt was $17.5 trillion in the fourth quarter of 2023. Again, according to the Federal Reserve Bank, $17.5 trillion. Not million, not billion, but trillion with a T. It's a lot of debt. And it says that the number one debt is, of course, mortgages. Second debt is auto loans. Third debt is student loans. And lastly, it is, actually, no, I'm sorry. Student loans is third. And then the other one was credit cards. Yes. I think credit cards came in third, and then student loan came in fourth. The whole point is people are in debt, up to their eyeballs in debt, right? So why do we love debt as people? I think because we want things now, and we don't want to save money to get things. For example, right now we need a car, right? We need a vehicle. And my transmission went out, which sucks, right? I had this car for like 4 years, right? It'll be 4 years, and actually it'll be 5 years in October this year. But she ain't gonna make it, y'all. She ain't gonna make it that long. But I've had that car, I paid cash for it, and it's giving me good miles for 4 long years. I haven't had a car payment now, right? So I'm like, man, now I'm gonna hunt again for another car, another vehicle. And my family's growing. I got two daughters, a 7-year-old, she'll be 8 next week on the 20th. And then I have a 1-year-old who'll be 2 in August. So again, got two girls, and I'm married to my wife, and now we need a new vehicle. I've never bought a new car, like spanking brand new, right? The most I've ever paid for a car was about $5,000. And that is the car I'm driving now. The one needs a transmission. I don't believe going into debt for a car payment. Why? I'll tell you why. Because recently I had a payment, right? And I admit I hate debt, but I wanted to do something, and I went against my values, y'all. I'm being honest with y'all. And I hated the crap because it was like 6 months. And I'm like, man, I've never had a payment in my life, like car payment, never, right? And this was like equivalent to it, but it was different. And I'm like, man, I don't ever want to go back into debt. And my wife and I, we were saving we wanted to save for a house, right? For down payment for a house. Man, so now we gotta get another vehicle, possibly two vehicles. And I'm like, man, I want to stay out of debt because I don't want to go back into debt. And we paid off that particular debt, and I'm like, let's stay the heck out of debt because that payment going paying that payment every month, man, I hated it. I'm like, what did I do? I did something stupid. Yes, I did something stupid, y'all. Again, it was for this thing I want to talk about it, but it was this thing like, man, somebody said it wasn't dead, but eventually it was dead because I paid payments every month. I was like, man, it's stupid. So I made a dumb decision to go to basically borrow money. I'm like, that was so stupid. I did a stupid decision, not me being stupid. I did a stupid thing, going into debt. Again, I think people want things that they don't have the money to pay for. And at the time, I didn't have money to pay for it. So I was like, dang it, I did something stupid. But I learned my lessons from that. I don't want to go back to debt again. Even for a house, my goal is to buy a house with cash. That's my plan A. Plan B would to get a 15-year mortgage to pay it off in like 7 to 10 years. Like kill the debt because when I had that payment, I like, man, that sucked the life out of me. Why? Because I've never had a payment like that, like ever in my life. And yeah, a rent payment, but that's different. That's you pay a mortgage, you pay rent to live, basically, right? It's different. But having a payment or maybe a car or maybe even a mortgage or a boat, that's oh man, that's crazy. So I want to encourage you and you myself to pay off your debt. When you play the game of Monopoly, you play the whole game with cash money, or at least the game back in the past. If you can amass a lot of income, a big income, and you manage their finances, you can buy stuff. You won't need to borrow money. You will have cash money to pay for things without going into debt, and you won't have interest payments and principal, which means you're gonna pay back more than you actually borrow. So I want to encourage you all to stay out of debt. That's not pay off your debt. Number one, pay off your debt because we in America want things now. We don't want to wait for them. And I want to encourage you all pay off your debt. When you paid off our debt, I want to encourage you to do the same. Number two, y'all, if you do number one, which is pay off debt, you have enough to save money. Save money for what? Rainy days. All right. So again, my car, right? My transmission is going out, right? So we had money saved for rainy days because we knew and know that things are going to happen. And honestly, our Achilles heel when it comes to finances is cars. Cars are the big expense. And it's like, man, now I realize that we need to have two rainy day funds. One for cars, because cars, they are built to last, but they don't last forever. So we're going to start saving for two things. Rainy day fund for a car and a rainy day fund for everything else. Because I realized that, man, cars do go out. They do start working eventually 4 years, 5 years, even 7 years. It's still going to eventually stop working, break down. So why not be prepared, have money saved, rainy days, and use that money to replace the car or to get the car repaired. So if you have money saved, you want to have to worry about things. You lose your job or your business slows down, you have money saved. In fact, according to bank rate, it says 66% of Americans would be worried that they wouldn't have enough emergency savings to cover a month's living expenses. 1 month, y'all. That's scary. Imagine not having savings to cover your month's rent or your month's income or your month's rent or mortgage or utilities or your housing, whatever it may be for 1 month, y'all. Why? Because people aren't saving money. People are going into debt because they are living above their means, right? And they may make $40,000 and they're living on 80,000. The difference would be income is 40 and the other amount will be debt. So they're living on 40K and they're maxed out, stressed out. So they can't save. Why? Because they are going back to the first point, which is people are borrowing money. So if you don't have debt, you can have money to save. But if you don't know how to manage your finances, it doesn't matter how much money you earn, you're going to spend it all because you don't know how to manage your finances. So I want to encourage you to learn how to do what I call a money plan, which is simply a budget. When you budget your money, you pay off debt, You're good because you know how to manage your finances, you manage the coin, manage the dinero, whatever you want to call it, your funds, and you'll be able to save money for rainy days or save for that boat or that vacation or maybe save for a house or whatever that thing may be for you. You will have more money because you won't have any debt. It's that simple. It's not rocket science and stuff, is it? It's not. It's easy math, but it's all about your behavior, your mindset, and your actions toward life when it comes to finances. Personal finances is not that difficult. It's just people don't want to do the hard things, such as a budget or money plan. People hate the B word, so I call it a money plan because if you don't plan, you'll have no money and be broke. Oh yeah, hold on one second. Get a copy of the book called Broke, written by me. See my name on there? Oh, it just feels so good. Written by me, Dakota Grady, Broke, Secrets to Fix American Financial Crisis. Get a copy of this online at dakotagrady.com. That's right. dakotagrady.com is where you can get a copy of my book called Broke. And also, you can get a journal too. Email me at dakotagrady.com to journal your journey with money. The ups and downs that you've had experience with your money, you can write out your experiences and then I'll track your goals, company finances. Get your journal at dakotagrady.com. So the third point is, so we talked about paying off debt, talked about the importance of saving and why you need to save, right? And the last point is to, if you pay off your debt, you save money, you can eventually build wealth. What is wealth, y'all? According to Tom Stanley, the author of the book called The Millionaire Next Door, I'm paraphrasing, y'all. He said, everything that you own minus what you owe, if it's $1 million or more, you're wealthy. And also, another way to think about it is if you make 40K at your job and your investments make 50K, you're wealthy because your investments, such as you may have interest income, dividend income, you may have income from stocks or your company, right? They make more than you make by you working, right? Then your money's working for you. So that's what I want you to be. That's what I'm searching to be as well. I'm seeking to be as well, to be wealthy because I work my entire life and not leave something for my family, and why not work hard to enjoy my life? I'm a follower of Christ, right? And I'm reading the word that said, and I'm paraphrasing again, about in Ecclesiastes. Solomon, he was the one of the wisest men in the world at the time. He said, again, paraphrasing, enjoy, said food, drink, and the fruit of your labor. Because everything else is meaningful outside of God. Basically said, enjoy life, but make sure you don't forget about God. So I want to build wealth, and I want you to do the same so we can help people and give and live. And again, if you're making money, you're out of debt, you're saving for a rainy day, you're saving for a business, you're saving for things that are important, build wealth. You can have your cup filled, meaning you have all your needs met, and even your wants met, and then any overflow can flow to someone else. Because having wealth doesn't mean that it's all about meeting your needs and being fulfilled. It's about helping everyone else too. People who are less fortunate than you. That's why it's important to manage your finances well so that you can be able to enrich your life and thereby be able to enrich someone else's life. Because if you are giving to someone who's in need, hopefully that person will be impacted by what you've done for him or her and reciprocate that to someone else. And they found someone who is in need and say, whoa, I was once that person. Now it's time for me to pay it forward and give to someone else who is also like me, or was like me, who was less fortunate. And then that way, everyone wins. And then who gets the glory? God does. A point of building wealth is to use that tool, money, to point people to Jesus so that people can be enriched and then come back and say, thank God that I was able to help someone else. Or the person who was enriched say, oh, I see God in that person, and then that person will become to know Jesus Christ. Hopefully, that's the whole point. That's why I want to become so wealthy with my finances, because I want to be a steward, a manager of God's resources so I can bless people so they can see not me, but see God. And the money part will point everybody back to Jesus. So that's the whole point of this whole thing, y'all. So I want to encourage you to pay off your debt, save your money, and become wealthy so that you can enrich your life and those around you in whether it be your local community, your state, your country, and people around the world because people need you. And you know you can do more if you have money. That's right. If you're broke, you can help people if you're broke, right? You may want to help people, but you can't help people the way you really want to unless you have your finances in order, out of debt, got saved, and your only way to accumulate wealth. Hey y'all, thank y'all for joining me for the podcast. I want you to comment, share, and also subscribe to the channel. The Coins, Cashflow, and Conversation Podcast. So the weekly podcast, y'all, talking about two things: money and business. It's financial literacy month. So y'all, this month I'm talking about personal finances. This month, talking about business again, y'all. But I love talking about personal finances and business because I believe handling finances is important because again, it's all about not about how much you make, but what's important is how well you manage what you make so that you can maximize your life, your money. And if you have a business, make a buku amount of money, bring it home, manage it, and then keep on building wealth so that you can, again, bless your family and others around the world. Again, Dakota Grady, I'm your host. This episode of the Coins, Cashflow, the Conversation Podcast is sponsored by Upstate Essential Solutions. That's again, Upstate Essential Solutions. My website is dakotagrady.com. Resources on accounting and taxes and personal finances, y'all. Contact me today if you need help with your personal finances and your accounting and taxes at dakotagrady.com. This is the Coins, Cashflow, and Conversation Podcast, y'all. Thanks for joining us tonight.